What's good people, and welcome back to the channel here on Crewboy Productions. My name is BK, and this is the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast, episode number 69, Sinners Production Secrets. And in this episode, I'm going to be telling you about the production secrets of how the director and the composer's wives were involved in the making of this great Sinners film. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody is doing well. Hope your summer is going good. Let's get right into it. So first of all, yes, I'm late talking about this Sinners film, and the reason for that is I thought this was initially too much on the horror side. For me, my initial impressions of the trailer, obviously I was wrong. I did see the film recently, and there are some horror elements, and it's not 100% horror, so it's a great film. I will have a spoiler review of that film in the next episode, but I am focusing on the production of this film, particularly about the dual role of Ludwig and the wives' involvement with the director and composer. So first of all, let's focus on the composer, Ludwig Goransson. Of course, Ludwig and Ryan Coogler, the director, they are really great friends. They are former roommates at the University of Southern California, USC, and so they have a great relationship. They have worked on over 3 films together. This film right here, Sinners, is their 5th feature film. First of all, let's get into Ludwig. So in addition to Ludwig being a composer on this film, he has now a second credit on this film. He is now an executive producer on this film. And let's define what is an executive producer. And an executive producer in film is typically responsible for overseeing the project's financial and business aspect. They may be securing funding, managing investor relations, and ensuring the film stays on budget and schedule. While some executive producers are hands-off, other executive producers can take on a more active, creative role, especially when they have dual responsibilities like Ludwig has in this one, or just one. So that is what the executive producer role is, and it's more of a high-level CEO approach of it. And every film and every executive producer is different. Some can get more involved in different aspects, whether it's on the creative side, financial side, so it just depends. But in this instance, the executive producer got more of a hands-on role on the creative side. So Ludwig was able to do his composing duties, but also have a hand in the storytelling of this film. And this rapport is built up over multiple films with the director Ryan Coogler. And at this point, they have now worked on a total of 7 films, 2 of them which were short films when they were both in film school at USC, both back in 2009 and 2011, one being named Locks in 2009 and then Fig in 2011. And then the 5 feature films in Hollywood. So Ludwig and Ryan directed, composed Station back in 2013. That was the very first one. Ludwig was the composer on that. Then Creed in 2015. Then Black Panther 2018, Wakanda Forever in 2022, and now Sinners in 2025, where Ludwig not only serves as the composer, but he is also the executive producer. And he has, in terms of doing his composing duties with arranging the music and the score in collaboration with the director, but he has shaped the musical identity of this film and integrating the storytelling instead of just following the director's vision. And so that's how typically it would work in terms of the normal role of what the director wants him to do with composing, but he had a step more into doing this. So for him to have 2 roles on this film, that just shows the progression of Ludwig and Ryan's relationship. Ryan giving Ludwig the trust to become an executive producer, have more hands-on in the storytelling, on how that music evolved and shaped this film. Particularly the one scene where the character of Sammy starts playing his guitar and he starts singing, and he goes into this musical trance, this musical timeline of how you see he's playing, but then you see all of these different musicians. you see the different styles as it goes through the different time periods. It just kind of pan around. You see all the styles, the cultures, the instruments, and the time frame of where they went through. That Ludwig had a big hand in developing and creating that, in addition to with collaboration with the director. So that's just one of the things you see where Ludwig had his imprint in this film, in his role as being an executive producer, in addition to his composer roles. And it also could set him up to be executive producer on future films with other directors as well. And now let's move on to the wives. Let's start with Ludwig's wife, and her name is Serena Goransson. And Serena also served as an executive music producer on this film, as well as on the soundtrack. Serena is an accomplished violinist and a musician. And one of the things that Ludwig and Serena did was they moved to New Orleans, where the movie was filmed, to be on set every day so that they could teach the music and the instruments to some of the actors. And I do want to read 2 quotes here from Serena Goransson. She talked to Variety, and I want to read what she had to say. And she said, quote, "There were 29 individual music moments that we had to account for. We didn't want it to feel like a musical," end quote. And then the other quote, she said, quote, "We wanted it to feel as lived in, just as organic and natural and a part of everyday life," end quote. And again, that comes from Variety. So just interesting how she was able to be involved in this film. So I just think that it's really cool that his wife got to be on set and involved in creating this film, as well as the soundtrack. Now, let's get to the other wife I want to talk about, and that is Ryan Coogler's wife. Her name is Zinizi Coogler. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And Zinizi Coogler serves as a producer on this Sinners film. And let's define what a producer is. And a producer, on the other hand, is deeply involved in the day-to-day production process. They coordinate between departments. They hire key personnel, manage logistics, and ensure the director's vision is executed effectively. So essentially, the producer has more of a micro level of involvement. They are more hands-on in the filmmaking process, while the executive producer is more of a high-level involvement, making those high-level decisions with the film and financing. But again, they can get involved if they want to. It just depends on the person in that role, as well as the film, the project, or the show that they are working on. In terms of Zinizi, she also recruited Serena Goransson to be on this film. So she was the one that recruited Ludwig's wife to participate in this film. And his wife, Zinizi, she is also, a nice fact, that she is an American Sign Language interpreter. So very cool that she has that in her background. And she also had a hand in recruiting a lot of the different musicians in this film as well. And one last thing I want to say about this production is, at the beginning of many movies, you see a lot of production companies, their logo, their names appear at the beginning of the film as you're going into getting to the actual film itself. And so what you see at the beginning of this film, Sinners, you see the name Proximity Media. And that company is co-founded by Ryan Coogler and Zinizi Coogler. So a husband and wife team are the owners of that production company, Proximity Media. So the next time you rewatch this movie, or if you watch it for the first time and you see Proximity Media, that is from the director, Ryan Coogler, and Zinizi Coogler, his wife. They are the ones that created that company. So that's just a fun fact as you rewatch or watch this film for the first time. That's all the information I have about this production creation of the film, this aspect of the creation of the film. I hope you were able to learn a little something as I was telling you about this. And if you want more, you can subscribe. And for those new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. And also let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did you think about this information, about this film, about the proximity media information as well, and the wives' involvement and Ludwig's involvement in terms of him having a second role in addition to his composer role? Let me know your thoughts if you knew this information already, or what you thought about it and what you thought about the film. And yeah, and as also, if you want to listen to this, you can listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast, and you will find me there. And just leave a review, leave a rating, and let me know what you thought about this and other episodes and the channel and the podcast overall. Would greatly appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. And that is it for today. So until next time, we will talk soon.